La Liga, and it's week 8. El Clasico last weekend. Well, all three of us give ourselves a pat on the back because we absolutely crushed it. But we crushed it from different angles. Plus 300 from Ewan, plus 150 from myself. And the squirrel was about minus 145. But listen, winners are winners. If you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Ring the bell means that we can notify you and you'll never miss any content again. You are our third guest, so get yourself involved in the chat. If it's your first time and you've just subscribed, then come and say hello, because we are part of a family here and we need your input as well. Also, if you press the link in the description, that will send you over to the sportsbookreview.com pages. And there's articles over there, and the boys love to put parlays up there. They are greedy, and they're like plus 300, plus 250. So go over and enjoy. Now, as I say, I've got no internet on my laptop next to me. If it comes up, then great. So, Martin, if you can monitor the chat and don't be slaughtering me, because obviously I can't see what you're writing. But we've got Ewan from La Liga Lowdown, who's been enjoying himself. Martin, Staple Diet, and myself. And it's La Liga Week 8. How was it last weekend for you, Martin?
Yeah, I was pleased to see that we all called the Real Madrid game correctly. That was a very good result for them. Almost got the Real Sociedad win as well, but I went for under 4.5 goals, and they ended up winning 4-1, which kind of screwed me over a little bit. But yeah, not too bad a weekend overall. Looking forward to an exciting round of fixtures this time, and big shout out to Raymond Reddington, Zanta22, who says hello from Indonesia. Hello in Indonesia. Philip Game, Hola Barca man, always there. Well, someone who's done a play of words on Aubameyang, which we won't repeat. Philip Game, Sean Mack. Hi everyone, great to have you all here.
Sounds like you're auditioning for the presenter of Eurovision Song Contest there, going around the world and asking for their votes, Martin. Ewan, great call, plus 300. Real Madrid and both teams to score, never really in doubt.
Yeah, we all did good with the Clasico. We all said, I think, this time last week that the Clasico is the hardest one to predict. You know, form goes out the window, and that's the one we all nailed. And then the rest of the weekend was a bit so a few surprises across La Liga, and that's kind of been the story of the season. It's been a season of shocks, a season of not too many goals, and we'll see what happens this weekend. I think this weekend we've got a nice batch of fixtures, some good value to find. So yeah, let's have a look at them.
Yeah, I believe there's some teams now that we can start relying on. They're getting into their groove. We know what some of the squads, they're going to be stretched because some of them are the sides, they're playing week in, week out, and they're on Europa duty. So they might be stretched, or they might be just getting a little bit fitter and a little bit sharper than others. Let's have a little look at the record from last week, please, gentlemen. Okay, Martin, at minus 1.22 at this stage of the season is not a problem. La Liga Lowdown, minus 2.88, again, not a problem, can be wiped out in one go. I'm up 1.1, so again, just even or up. Parlay at 2.52. I think we've got to get that parlay this week, so we're looking for a two-team parlay at the end. And if you've got any suggestions to go into that two-team parlay, then please put it in the chat and Martin will relay it to me, and total at 5.52. So let's eat away at that 5.52, which again is absolutely nothing going into week 8. Let's start with you then, Ewan, because it's your team, and they surprised Sevilla last week, and Sevilla very impressive in midweek, even though the score was only 1-0. And it's Eibar at plus 150, draw plus 200, and Cadiz at plus 240. You are both these sides coming off clean sheets and very, very unexpected 1-0 victories.
Yeah, two teams that are kind of new to the first division and not there too often. This is the first ever time they'll play in the top division in La Liga. But the stat that really stands out to me when looking at these two teams is so far Eibar haven't won at home yet and Cadiz have only won away. So I guess that would lead you to back Cadiz with the away win. And Eibar coach Mendilibar has been talking about the home performances. 4 matches already, they just can't get a win at home. And I think part of it might be the lack of fans, because it's a tiny little stadium there in Eibar. It's the smallest in all of the division, but it's almost always full and the fans are there really close to the pitch. They always tend to give a little push, an extra push to the team, and they're clearly missing that with these closed door stadium times. So maybe Eibar at home, just you should just completely rule that out, because Cadiz away from home are having fun. They've been winning away from home, but also with no possession. All of the 3 wins they've had away from home so far have all came with less than 30% possession. They don't mind sitting back, taking their chances when they come, like they did against Real Madrid, like they also did against Athletic Club. That was another big win. So, you cannot rule out this Cadiz team because they've done it away from home so far. And even last weekend at home to Villarreal, they were able to snuff them out and get a 0-0 draw. So Cadiz, I think, look the more convincing just now. We did say Eibar won last week against Sevilla, but if you go back and watch that game, Sevilla should have wiped the floor with Eibar. They had 17 shots, didn't score. Eibar had 2 shots and did score. So I'm a bit more convinced by Cadiz right now than Eibar.
Yeah, I mean, Cadiz, they've got that spirit. Obviously, it's almost like there's no fear factor for them. And yes, they sit back, they have 5, but they're also very athletic. And obviously, they're getting these results, Martin, when they go away from home because they don't let goals in. So is this looking at an unders game?
Yeah, I think they were talking in the chat that the total goals line has been set at 1.5, which is a lot lower than you would normally see. The official total goals line would be 2.5 and 1.5 would be an alternate line. So obviously the bookmakers are anticipating quite a low scoring game. To get any value, you'd either have to go for over or under that. I'd be inclined to go over.
It's too low, isn't it?
I had to.
Yeah, but I said unders, but 1.5, is that not giving you the value on a 1-1 draw going over?
Yeah, exactly. If I was going to go for either of them, I'd go for over 1.5 on that. But this is a difficult one to call. Like Ewan said, very, very poor performances at home for Eibar, and that's wreaking havoc upon everyone that bets on football at the moment. Teams aren't getting the home results. There's a delayed start to the season, so they're cramming all the European fixtures in. Teams are playing 3 times a week, so everyone's exhausted, getting a lot of shock results. So it's difficult, which would probably inspire you to bet on the underdog more often than not. So I could see why people would be leaning towards Cadiz for this one, but this one definitely a pass from me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think everything's a possibility in this game. It could be 0-0. It could be maybe 2. Just leave it and enjoy. Okay, Madrid minus 300, Martin. Draw plus 450. And Huesca at plus 800. Huesca are going to try and be stubborn. They're going to try and frustrate. But Madrid, they've got to back up that win in El Clasico last week, or it was all for nothing.
Yeah, it's been a real roller coaster couple of weeks for Real Madrid. Had a couple of dodgy results before El Clasico, and you kind of could excuse them because they were resting players and they were really just building up everything for that big game against Barcelona. Then they struggled again in midweek when I think a lot of people bet on them. And again, you could say that was a bit of a hangover from the excitement of El Clasico. Now it's really time for them to knuckle down, get back to business, return to winning ways. They're not going to defend their title if they keep dropping points against teams like Huesca. We saw a bit of controversy, didn't we, with Karim Benzema up to his old trick, saying to everyone not to pass to Vinicius because he's playing for the other team, which there might be a bit of disharmony in the camp. So I think these players are going to have a point to prove when they go out there. They're going to need to start strong because they've been so poor in the first half in games recently, getting out of jail with those 2 late goals. But I think Zidane's going to have to say to them, look, you need to come flying out of the blocks in this game and prove to everyone why you're the champions and why you're going to go on and defend your crown. So I'm going to stretch it out for more value and go for Real Madrid half-time, full-time, which is plus 105.
Yeah, it's decent that. Half-time, full-time, if we can trust the Whites to come out and actually put a stamp on it, because Huesca, they will sit deep, they will try and frustrate. I don't think Huesca score. So then we're looking at Real Madrid win to 0. Do they get out the traps and score before half-time, though?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the last few weeks, Huesca have been a little bit more ambitious. They have been playing a little bit more attacking football. Michel, their coach, he is a guy that does like to try and have possession and go for it. That's what they did last year. That's what got them up. I think the first few weeks in La Liga, they just went into the typical newly promoted side mentality of let's keep it tight. But last few weeks have been a bit more expansive, and that could play into Real Madrid's hands. It's when they play a team that is really defensive that they struggle. I think that's why they beat Barcelona, because it was a back and forth game with a bit of space. As Martin said, a bit of controversy with those comments from Benzema. I mean, it would just be typical, wouldn't it, for Benzema assist to Vinicius in this one to right those wrongs. But in terms of what Zidane's mindset is, I watched his press conference earlier today, and his message was, this is the only game we're thinking about, because remember, on Tuesday they have a massive Champions League game against Inter Milan. But Zidane repeated time and time again, We're not thinking about that. He even called this game a final, which is a bit of an exaggeration. It's a match day 8 game of the season at home to Huesca. Come on, it's not a final. But you do get the sense that Zidane is prioritising this game. I don't think we'll see too many rotations. I think they really want to go for it and lay out a message. So yeah, I do like that shout from Martin to be winning half-time, full-time, even a handicap bet as well, because I do think Real Madrid win this by a couple. Maybe Huesca score, we don't know. But I do think Real Madrid get a fairly comfortable win in this one because they're out to prove a point.
The fans of Madrid, what are they thinking of Eden Hazard? Are they still waiting for him to kickstart?
Well, this is the thing. We might get to see him in this game starting. Of course, he made his comeback, his first appearance of the season against Mönchengladbach in midweek. I think he's going to be eased in to things. But yeah, we could see him. This could be the perfect game for him to come back, couldn't it? A home game against Huesca. Put him in there, see how he does. If he's getting a bit tired, take him off at that hour mark. I think we could see Hazard start. And this would be the first ever time that Zidane, since he's come back, has had Asensio, Benzema and Hazard, which I think is what he wants his front three to be. Maybe that's the starting front three tomorrow. We'll see. Real Madrid fans are upset that Hazard has been missing so much time, but they're not upset at him yet like they used to be at Bale. But if he suffers another relapse, I'm sure they will be before long.
Yeah, I think he might just be the perfect player to unlock this Huesca defence. A little can opener and just maybe dribble past little 1-2s on the edge of the box. But I'll be interested to see how that game goes, and I will be watching it. Now, Ewan, the Athletic Club plus 210, draw plus 210, and Sevilla at plus 160. I haven't complicated this, but I only got plus 150 on Sevilla.
Yeah, Sevilla are really impressive. As you mentioned earlier, the midweek win they had over Rennes, the game against Eibar last weekend. The only problem with Sevilla is they don't turn all of their chances into goals. I think it was 20 shots in midweek. They only won 1-0. 17 shots against Eibar. They lost 1-0. They need that clinical striker, don't they? They've got Luke de Jong, who had a great Europa League. He hit form right at the right time for those quarterfinals, semi-finals, final, but they need someone who can consistently put the ball in the net. So that's the only concern I think you have about Sevilla. You know they'll create chances, you know they'll dominate the game, but will they score enough goals? I think against this Athletic Club team, they can do that because Athletic have been pretty poor so far this season, just a couple of wins there. So yeah, Sevilla have to be the favourites, but do they have the striker who can turn what I expect to be a dominant performance into 3 points?
Midweek, Martin, 10 corners for Sevilla. In the first 27 minutes, I was so impressed. One touch, interchanging positions, crosses into the box, 45-50. They had absolutely everything. And the good thing about that is the back boys, they kept the back door closed.
Yeah, it was a good game for the back boys. They did well. Good to see Koundé back from injury. He's looking strong again. He's a crucial pillar in that defensive unit. They played well. They played very well. Rennes are a decent side as well. Had a very good start to the season in Liga. So, yeah, they did well. But I echo everything Ewan said about a lack of that predatory striker in front of goal. It's their only weakness. They even signed someone like Jermaine Defoe or something. Just put him up, put him in the box, get him some banging goals. They get more points than they've got with Luke de Jong. Not quite working out for him.
I'd go and get Danny Ings. I think Danny Ings would be absolutely perfect for them.
Yeah, just someone that can put the ball in the net. That's all they need because they create lots of chances. They've had Jordan out with a suspension, but you know they've still got enough creativity in that midfield, and Ocampos is a quality player. So I think they should go on and win this game. I can't see them losing again. I may live to regret going draw no bet if they pull off a comfortable victory, but I do have a few concerns about their ability to score goals and their ability to close out games that they're dominating and turn them into 3 points. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going Sevilla draw no bet, and actually very good odds on it as well.
Yeah, listen, I don't see Sevilla getting beat. So if you want to go draw no bet, then there's no problem with that at all. Now, Osasuna at plus 450, draw plus 250, and Atletico at minus 123. Still not going to have Atletico Madrid on my mind. They just flatter, and they conceded another 2 midweek, even though they showed green shoots of being a little bit more positive, Martin.
Yeah, we used to say, didn't we, that we put teams on naughty step if they kept letting us down.
Oh, mine is they're out the window for me. They're not even on the step. I'm not going near these.
We took them off the naughty step and threw them out the window. Yeah, that sounds about right. They a thoroughly convincing victory on the first day of the season, and then just kept disappointing us. So until I see a bit more consistency from them, I'm not going to back them even at those odds. Osasuna aren't a great team. They really should go on and win this one, but they've been dropping too many points, especially on the road, and not showing enough ambition, which is very disappointing. It is a very attractive set of odds. If you could go for Atletico Madrid and under 4.5 goals for a bit more value, I think you'd get a great price. But I'm just a bit worried that they're going to draw this game because they draw too many.
Yeah. Listen, I watched this game. I watched most of the games, and Ewan Betis, they more than matched them last week, and I thought they were very toothless. They got the lucky goal just after half time, and then Suarez scores in like the 90th minute, which you or I could have scored as well. So for me, Atletico, I've just got to leave them alone.
Yeah, I mean, Atletico have been a little bit inconsistent. I think for years we've known Atletico 1-0. That's been so consistent. You know, Martin, you've been on the terraces singing 1-0 to the Arsenal. That became Atletico's song for the past decade. But they've had 7 games so far this season, and they've not won 1-0 yet. But a couple of times they have won 2-0, like they did against Betis, like they did away at Celta Vigo. And that's what I think you can get some value on this weekend. Plus 170 for Atletico to win 2-0. I do think they're stronger than Osasuna, even away from home. They can get that win. And Osasuna, they have a bunch of injuries. They're missing 6 players. 3 of them are strikers. So maybe this is a weekend that we do get a more typical Atletico performance, but maybe it's not just 1-0, maybe it's 2-0, but win 2-0 I think is where the value is in this one. That is if you trust Atletico. I think I do against Osasuna, but you're right, this season there have been a few performances that have been a bit suspect.
What's happening with Diego Costa, by the way?
Yeah, so he's injured at the moment, so he's out, so we can expect Joao Felix and Luis Suarez to start up front. And I know you love Joao Felix, Flash, and I don't know what you made of him in midweek, but I think that might have been his best performance yet for Atletico, and a couple of goals, and it was the one he didn't score that was maybe the most impressive, that overhead kick off the crossbar. It looks like he's really coming into his own and forming a bit of a partnership there with Suarez, which is nice to see.
Yeah, if you've got a player like that, you've just got to give him his head. You've just got to say, listen, go and get the ball wherever you want to do. But the problem I had with him last week was he didn't come alive until the deadlock was broken. They went 1-0 up. Then all of a sudden, he comes alive, he passes, he gets into little pockets. But I'm not having Suarez, Ewan. I think Suarez looks slow. I think he looks overweight. And he looks too far away from the rest of the team. I see him go, the ball went over the top. There was a deflection, I think, from the Betis defenders. He was 2 yards clear. They just caught up with him straight away. He couldn't get away from anyone. So for me, I think that they're a striker short, and they're definitely going to need Costa back ASA.
I bet he scores a trick now you said that.
He won't, I promise. No, he won't. He's not like Lukaku, where I dogged Lukaku last year and he scored like 55 goals. Suarez, for me, I think his legs are gone. When he's running, his legs are going too fast and it's like not happening for him. Now, Alaves, plus 600, draw plus 380, and Barcelona at minus 200. Barcelona, they're starting to just pick their way into a little bit of form, Ewan.
Yeah, like I just said, Joao Felix, I think, had his best performance in a while in midweek. Barcelona definitely had their best performance so far under Ronald Koeman against Juventus. It was 2-0, it could have been more, and never mind all the Morata offside goals, a hat-trick of goals there. Barcelona were still far, far superior in that game. And an Alaves team that are a little bit tricky to work out. They keep changing their tactics. Pablo Machin, the coach, doesn't quite know what he likes to do. Is it a back 3? Is it a back 4? And against Barcelona, when he was Girona coach, he threw up a few tactical curveballs in the past. Do you remember the game a few years ago when he sent Pablo Maffeo out with the sole job of just man-marking Messi, and he just followed Messi around for 90 minutes, completely in his shadow. Took Messi out of the game, but they lost by a few goals. And so I do expect some sort of wrinkle, something from up Pablo Machin's sleeve in this one. But I do think Barcelona are just too strong against an Alaves side that have been pretty poor. This isn't Alaves' battle to win, so I think fairly comfortable win from Barcelona to follow on from that Juventus victory. I'm going for them to win by a couple. I think they'll get a fairly comfortable win. Do they keep a clean sheet? I mean, Barcelona have been a little bit suspect at the back all season. Ter Stegen still isn't back from his injury, but they should be a fairly comfortable win for Barcelona there and away at Alaves.
So Barcelona like minus 1.5. Martin, are you going to go down that train of thought?
No, I can't quite work Barcelona out, to be honest, Flash, because they are supposed to be a club in crisis. The players are revolting. They're all giving interviews to the press about how bad things are. Bartomeu's just resigned. The board's gone. It's this bit of a shambles. A lot of key players left in the summer. Messi's unhappy. I just keep waiting for them to implode. But yeah, the performances have actually been better than what you would expect. I fancied Juventus to go on and win that game, but then when I saw that Ronaldo wasn't in the starting 11, Juventus are in just as bad a position as Barcelona, really. New manager, lots of injuries, teams aging. They're not doing well in Serie A either. So, yeah, that seemed like a bit of a case of two fading giants coming up against one another. Well done to Barcelona for prevailing. But, yeah, it still doesn't give me enough encouragement to bet on them in this game when Alaves have had the whole week to prepare. Just worries me again what might happen with Barcelona. They could go and win 4-0, or they could slump to a 0-0 draw. I'm not sure, so I'm leaving it alone.
All right, well, let's see if you're leaving this one alone, because it's Betis at minus 190, draw plus 330, and Elche at plus 630. As I said earlier, I was impressed with Betis last week. They just got caught just after half-time. Up to then, they were the better side for me. They were comfortable, they were together, they had good movement, and their midfield dominated probably the first 45 minutes.
They did. They looked very good in that game. I think they're a good team. I think they're a lot better under Manuel Pellegrini. He's really improved them man for man, and they're gelling better as a unit. They have been unfortunate. They just haven't had the rub of the green, but it's 2 defeats in a row for them now, 4 defeats in their last 5 games. So it's a bit difficult just to look at the form and to back them to beat Elche, who have taken, 9 points in their last 10 points in their last 4 games on a great unbeaten run. I know the quality of the opposition they've been playing hasn't been that high, but they're going to be confident. They're going to have the wind in their sails a bit. At plus 630, I can see a few people betting on them, to be honest. They were my tip to finish bottom of the table this season, so yeah. Let's see if they still do. But minus 190, I'm not sure about betting on Betis at those odds.
But Betis an over 1.5, or Betis half-time, full-time, Ewan. I mean, Betis are a different class to Elche. And listen, Elche have had favourable fixtures. And that's why if they were that good and they've taken 10 points in the last 4 games, they wouldn't be plus 630. They would be like plus 320.
Yeah, I mean, Elche's start to the season really has been incredible. But you're right, they have had some fairly easy games. Even Valencia last week, for everyone in Elche, that was a massive win to get one up on the city down the road. But we all know how bad Valencia are, so I don't know how much credit you really can give to that victory. And even in that game, Elche weren't too impressive. They were a little bit lucky. Against Betis, it's a really interesting one. I do think one of the things to keep an eye on for this one is to see if Emerson is going to play or not. He's the Betis starting right back. He's been out for the last few weeks. And they've really missed him because he's not only so quick and good in defence, he adds a lot to their attack. Montoya is supposed to be the backup. He's suspended. So maybe keep an eye on Saturday to see when Betis' squad list is announced to see if Emerson is in it. He's a doubt. Pellegrini had his press conference today and said they'll decide tomorrow. So if Emerson plays, I'm leaning more towards Betis. If he doesn't, I think I'm leaving this one alone.
Okay, so you wouldn't put anyone off of Elche double chance, which will probably still be at around plus 250, plus 300. Let's move on, though, Ewan, because this is a close game. We've got Celta Vigo at plus 210, draw plus 240, and Sociedad that I can't get right at plus 150. Now, I worry about Sociedad, and yet they keep winning. And then they go midweek, and listen, they play better than the 1-0 defeat against Napoli.
Yeah, they're a very difficult team to work out. And yeah, I mean, this one against Celta Vigo, they should win because Celta Vigo have been so poor. I mean, so far this season, Real Sociedad are the top scorers in La Liga. Celta Vigo are the joint bottom scorers. So really, you've got to lean towards Real Sociedad, who are actually still the league leaders coming into this match day. Let's not forget that. But one stat that caught my attention is the fact that Real Sociedad are really, really good in the second halves of games. Sometimes it takes them a while to get going, and Celta Vigo are pretty poor in the second half. So far this season, Real Sociedad have the best record in all of La Liga for just the second halves of matches, and the team with the very worst record is Celta Vigo. So maybe a bet on just Real Sociedad to win the second half. Maybe they get into a comfortable lead, score a few late goals, and win that second 45 minutes. Or maybe they have a slow start, but pull it through in the second half. Martin knows all too well from last week when they added a few late goals to ruin your bet there. But they finished a lot of matches strong, so I do expect a strong finish in this one away at Celta Vigo.
Martin, is it down to Sociedad? They just play keep ball early on and they tire the teams out. And a little bit like we've seen with Man City, but obviously not at that level where the teams are out on their feet with 20 minutes to go and they just reap their rewards from their keep ball, from their possession and from little David Silva.
Yeah, I think that's it. They do wear teams down, but they've also got the craft and the guile to unlock tired defences in the later stages of games. I think they're just a fantastic side. Love watching them. Lots of quality in midfield. Perhaps they could do with a better striker. Perhaps they could do with a tougher defence. But I think they'll go really far in La Liga this season. The way they pass the ball, the movement, it's all just really good to see. I think they'll turn Celta Vigo over in this game. Celta Vigo do sort of have decent players, but the results never seem to follow, and they're always languishing near the bottom of the table. Don't forget the league form that Real Sociedad are in. I wouldn't be too disheartened by that defeat to Napoli in midweek. Napoli are a very good team, having a very good season as well. Real Sociedad, top of the table, 4 wins out of 7, and they had a bad start to the season as well with that coronavirus outbreak. So if you exclude that, they're in fantastic form. Celta Vigo right near the bottom of the table, really, really struggling at the moment. Haven't had a win in 5 matches. So yeah, I'm going with the away team. Maybe just to be a bit more cautious, you can go with draw no bet. But yeah, I can see Sociedad getting something out of this one.
Yeah, I'm still not going near them just because when I did go near them on the first few games of the season, they let me down. So you let me down, then jog on. Okay, Martin, Granada. I can't believe this is the right price. Plus 125, draw plus 230, Levante plus 245. Now, Levante let me down every single time because I say how attacking they are, but they just keep letting goals in. Granada at home, staple diet. You don't complicate it.
Yeah, Granada are in terrific form, aren't they? Sadly, they were the only team that let me down. I got 3 out of 4 in the Europa League last night, and it was Granada that couldn't beat PAOK Saloniki in Thessaloniki. Saloniki, they couldn't pull it off, sadly. But in La Liga, they're in terrific form. You know, they beat Sevilla. They've beaten some really good teams in recent weeks. They don't have a huge squad, so you would expect a little bit of fatigue now and then. Perhaps that's what's caused the odds to look pretty attractive in this one. Levante have had the week to prepare. Granada are really all out, exhausted at the moment. But yeah, they're great at home. They're a quality team. I feel like they should have too much about them for Levante in this one. I'm still playing it a bit cautious. I think I'm going to go for draw no bet again. But yeah, definitely think Granada can get something out of this game.
See, I'm not complicating it. I was so close, Ewan, to going Granada to win and both teams to score. I can see this being 2-1, maybe 3-1, maybe even 3-2. But I've got a lot of faith in Granada, and especially at home.
Yeah, I like that. Both teams to score shout. So far this season, half of Granada's games have had both teams scoring. Half of Levante's games have had both teams scoring. So yeah, this is a kind of game where you can see a few goals Sunday evening. Could be an entertaining one. Who knows exactly who wins? One point to look out for this one: Granada. All 3 of the right backs in the squad. They even have 3 right backs in the squad. They were prepared, but all 3 of them are out of this game for various reasons, and it looks like Levante's star man in attack, Morales, is going to overcome an injury. So maybe that's a point of weakness there for Granada. Maybe they do concede, because if you're betting on both teams to score, the concern you have with that is, do Levante score against a pretty good Granada side? But if they're missing 3 right backs, if they're particularly weak on that side, if they're a little bit tired, I do see Levante at least getting 1. And Granada are pretty reliable. They often do the business. So yeah, both teams to score and maybe a Granada win. That seems like a good shout.
Yeah, you'd get great value, and that's what we look for here is value. Anyway, how's them thumbs up going compared to the people that are watching, Martin?
So we've currently got 85 people watching and 29 thumbs up.
Okay, not too bad then, not too bad at all. Valencia at plus 230, you and draw plus 210, and Getafe at plus 150. I'm just waiting for Getafe to kick into gear week in, week out, that we know what we're going to get, because at the moment, they're like 8 out of 10 or 4 out of 10.
Yeah, they've been pretty difficult to predict. I would say last weekend they were quite unlucky, a bit of a non-penalty that saw them lose that game to Granada, but they've had a full week to prepare for this one against a Valencia side that is just in disarray on the pitch, off the pitch. Kondogbia has an injury that doesn't sound like it is an injury, it just sounds like he's maybe not fully up for playing yet, which isn't a great situation for your team to be in. So, this is also quite a feisty match. I mean, maybe look at the yellow cards in this one, because this has become a bit of a rivalry in recent years. They had a very, very feisty Copa del Rey match a couple of years ago, the year Valencia went on to win it. There was a massive brawl. Players were getting suspended for several weeks after that, and every game since then has been quite tense. There's been comments back and forth about Getafe's style of play, about Valencia. So this has become, even though they're very far apart, one team from Madrid, one team from Valencia, it's become a bit of a derby in recent years. And you know what it's like when the game's played beneath the lights, 9 p.m. on a Sunday. Sometimes people do get a little bit too pumped up for it and a bit aggressive. So I think we'll get an entertaining match. And yeah, I just don't know about this one. I can't trust Valencia to back them. And Getafe, like you say, they've been a bit inconsistent, but with a full week to prepare, maybe you lean towards Getafe, because this is a kind of match where they should get the business done.
Yeah, Martin, if ever there was a draw no bet on the visitors, then obviously you could go with Getafe, or maybe even both teams not to score. But if you think that there's chances of red cards, you could be the better side. But if you go down to 10 men, then you're going to be struggling.
Yeah, you've got to be a bit worried, I guess, now if you're a Valencia fan. 2 points above the relegation zone, lost 3 in a row. Not looking good, is it? Got rid of so many of their best players in the summer. The ones that are staying don't look motivated. It's a real shambles. I did think that they would finish lower mid-table based on the activity in the summer, but they could still get sucked into a relegation battle. They do have a lot of individual qualities still within their ranks, though, which is kind of a very odd situation for a team of their sort of ranking in La Liga to have these actual very strong individuals that can turn games on their head in a blink of an eye. So it does make me a little bit sceptical about betting against them, to be honest. Do like Getafe, always like Getafe. Would definitely be leaning towards them in this game. Not sure quite enough to pull the trigger on it, but yeah, leaning towards Getafe.
I just want to see them benefit from not having the Europa League campaign, because they were fantastic for the first half last year. Then they took their foot off the gas, and they were very good in their defeat late on in the Europa League. So for me, Getafe have got so much more to offer, and I just wait for them to click into gear. I went with them last week and they bit me, but I can't go with them, I don't think, this week. Villarreal, the last game, at minus 155, draw plus 300, and Valladolid, that no one ever has on their card, at plus 420, Martin.
Yeah, it was classic Unai Emery stuff last night. I had Villarreal to beat Karabag in Istanbul. They pulled it off, but they gave me a few nervous moments. It was dire for 75 minutes. They went 1-0 down, and then they just laid siege at the very end of the game. Kind of probably expect to see something similar in this one, to be honest. Valladolid are a pretty strong defensive side, don't show a great deal of ambition. These teams will probably cancel each other out for large parts of it, and then it's just whether Paco Alcácer or someone like that can show that predatory instinct in the closing stages of the game. Maybe you'd be looking at draw half-time, something like that.
That's exactly what I've wrote, Martin.
That's what we're doing. Or maybe even draw half-time, Villarreal full-time could get better odds. There's a few interesting ways you can go on that game. It's just a bit difficult from a total goals perspective, because you've got a very defensive Valladolid team and a pretty defensive Villarreal team that sometimes just go and bang in a load of goals. Can't quite work them out. So, interested to hear what you guys' thoughts are on this one.
You and I've gone draw half-time, win to 0 on Villarreal, or both teams to score no, which is always a shout when Valladolid are playing.
Yeah, Valladolid have been really poor. One of the only two teams yet to get a win this season, along with Huesca, although Huesca have a bunch of draws. Valladolid don't, and that's why they're bottom. It's a really interesting game, this one. And we saw, like Martin's saying, in that Europa League game, they scored a few late goals. And part of the reason for that is because they put on their best players. In the Europa League, they've been rotating quite a bit. So once they made some subs, brought on the likes of Alcacer, and they kind of got the job done. Expect them to start this game. So maybe the draw at half-time, I'm not too sure. I wouldn't base too much of it on the Thursday night performance, because that was their sort of reserve backup side that started that. The interesting thing to keep in mind for this one, I don't think I've ever bet on a team to win just after travelling away to Qarabag. And over the years, many Spanish teams have played Qarabag. I don't know why they always get drawn with the Spanish sides. But keep in mind, this time, it wasn't in Azerbaijan. This game was in Istanbul, as Martin pointed out. So it wasn't actually that big trip. And this game's on Monday. So Villarreal coming off a Europa League game, but they do have that extra day of rest. So the Europa League fatigue shouldn't really matter. So I really like Villarreal in this one to go and get the job done against Real Valladolid. I've said it last week as well. I've been saying it for a few weeks. Real Valladolid's two starting centre-backs have been out injured for a few weeks. They're still out injured. And, well, they've been letting in a lot of goals in that time. Their starting left-backs out suspended in this one too. So only one player, one regular starter in their back four. I really like Villarreal in this one.
Okay, I'm telling you what, I'm actually going to go Villarreal. Don't complicate it. -155 as the first leg of the two-team parlay. Are we agreeing on that?
I think so. And the Monday night game, let's hope we get to Monday, everybody rooting for the last leg of that parlay to come in. I couldn't agree more.
Okay, let's have a little look at... Sorry, Martin, was you going to say something?
No, I was just agreeing, and they'll be even better when Gerard Moreno comes back and he's back in business. They could have a good season.
He could make this game, actually, Gerard Moreno. I think the fact it's on a Monday gives, instead of Sunday, gives him a chance. He's making good recovery, so he's a chance to maybe come on in this one too. So lots and lots of reasons to like Villarreal for this one.
Okay, then, Fabian, can you stick up this week's picks, please, in La Liga Week 8? And Martin's picks, he's gone Madrid, half-time, full-time at +105. If they come out the traps, that's great value. Sevilla at draw no bet, -125, a bit too squirrely, that. Sociedad, draw no bet, -125, can't get Sociedad right. Granada at +125, cannot believe that price, and it might just be a trap, but... Barcelona -1 for you and at -130. Granada, both teams to score, -105. Atletico win to 0 at +170. That's great value. And Sociedad to win just the second half at +190. You do come up with some great value, Ewan. My picks are Sevilla at +150. That's my banker. I'm really impressed with Sevilla. I'm going to keep riding them. Granada +125, like Martin. Just couldn't believe it. Betis, and over 1.5 at -110. That's because of what I saw last week. I think they're going to give someone a hiding, and hopefully it's this week. And Madrid win to 0 at +110. Cannot believe Madrid are plus money just to win to 0. Who are we going to go for, Martin, on the second leg of the two-team parlay, please?
How about Real Sociedad to go and beat
away from home, Celta.
Yeah. Okay. If you don't want to go for that, what have we got? We've got Celta. We've got Sevilla, haven't we? And Villarreal.
What about? I was just about to say, what about Atletico winning Osasuna after everything I've said?
What about Sevilla and Villarreal? If we like both of those.
Or Granada. We did have a lot of reasons to like Granada this week. I think we all quite liked that one against Levante. I mean, a lot of the home teams in this one, and then. Of course, this is one of the first weeks, I think, in a long time where we've had both Real Madrid and Barcelona with fixtures where you can be really confident of them winning. Barcelona have had quite a tough schedule so far. So, this is maybe one of the first weeks of the season where you feel confident about putting the big two on your parlays, because it hasn't been the case until now, really.
Yeah. I mean, would we go just Barcelona to win at -200? So we just go with Villarreal, don't complicate it, -155, and Barca just to win at -200.
Yeah,
you like that, Martin?
Yeah, you get decent odds for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do Villarreal at -155 and just straight Barcelona win at -200. Now, if you like this video, and why wouldn't you? Obviously, we've got La Liga Lowdown represented by Ewan. We've got everything represented by Martin. Now, subscribe, press a button, ring the bell. Ring the bell means that we'll notify you. And with all the clocks going bonkers all over the world, apart from here in Costa Rica, then you're going to need to know what time I'm slipping this show into the schedule. Also, you press a link in the description. That'll take you over to the articles that are wrote by either Martin or Tan or Alex or Dave. And there's loads of other writers over there on all the other sports that we cover at SBR. So get over, enjoy. Thank you for being the third guest, even though my computer is not accepting the internet at the moment. So I've not been able to see any of the comments. So I hope you've been kind. Have a great weekend, Martin. Ewan, brilliant as always. I hope everything's settles down over there in España. And we'll see you all again soon. You take care.